I've been making weekly videos for about 1 year now, and it seemed like a good time to take a look back on what I've learned. One of the first videos I made was called Learning YouTube with Deliberate Practice. And in that video, I went through this ranking that I had done together with a YouTube course, the Part-Time YouTuber Academy. We were asked to rank ourselves from 1 to 10 in a bunch of different areas when it comes to making good YouTube videos. So I figured I would go through those different categories and see how I feel like I've progressed. When it comes to niche, I don't feel like I've changed or improved that much. I have some general idea of where I want to be heading in, but I'm more just focused on making the videos that I feel are helpful or the videos that I want to make. Both when it comes to studio and confidence, I definitely feel like I've stepped up a decent amount. When it comes to studio, I've definitely improved the light and the audio quality, but I still feel like there's a lot of room to improve here. Like my background, I've added some lights, but other than that, it's just not something I put much thought or effort into. And also, I'm in this huge concrete room, so there's a lot of echo, and I feel like I could do more to fix that. But generally, I'm quite happy with how much it has improved. Similarly, with confidence, I also feel like it's improved a lot, but not as much as I would have hoped in some ways. Looking back at all the clips, I can see that I'm much more reserved and kind of quiet in terms of how I'm talking. And also, there's like a bunch more random cuts in between because I would just kind of keep on rambling and then just cut it together. But now I try to be a bit more deliberate in what I'm trying to say. One thing where I feel like I'm still lacking in confidence is that I don't feel like the recordings have gotten much easier. Like I take more time now to record a video than I used to. So I would still like to improve my delivery and just make it a bit easier for myself. But I definitely feel like in terms of what I'm putting out there, I've been moving in the right direction. Just to show what I mean, I'll show a short clip from the video I mentioned of learning YouTube with deliberate practice. Hi friends, so I figured since a lot of this channel will be about learning different things, starting a YouTube channel is kind of a perfect opportunity to do a case study about how you can apply deliberate practice to learn something. It has a very dark vibe. I think I didn't have like a big spotlight. I had some light, but definitely not enough. For productivity, I have improved quite a lot in terms of like how efficient I am at doing things, but also still have a long way to go, I feel like. When I made the video on deliberate practice, I set the goal of being able to edit it in under 6 hours, and I think I did that in like 5 hours and 20 minutes. So I'll try to beat that goal here and see how quickly I can get done with a edit that I'm happy with. So we'll see how that goes here. There's two other areas related to productivity, which is parallel processing and scheduling, which I still feel like I have a lot to improve on. I have improved in these areas because I have had periods where I was kind of recording in batches of 3 to 4 videos at once and worked on them in a more side-by-side fashion. And I can see how that's just so much more efficient, but it's not something I've been able to keep up consistently. So it feels like it's something I know how to do and I know the value in doing it and I want to get better at doing it, but I just haven't been able to execute on it as much as I would like. When it comes to generating a hook, like having a good title and a video idea and thumbnail, this is definitely an area that I've neglected a bit more than, I don't want to say more than I should have because I'm just kind of making the videos I feel like. But it's definitely where I have a lot to gain from improving it. I think I've improved some in kind of what I'm able to make, like with thumbnails, I put more effort in, I take a picture for each thumbnail and then I edit it. But I'm definitely not putting in the appropriate amount of effort in this area if I want the channel to grow. When it comes to flair, like kind of the look and feel of the channel, I do feel like it's in a pretty good place, but also not something I spent that much time and effort into exploring outside of just like finding some nice transitions and colors and fonts that I like to use. I do still want to explore this area a lot more. When it comes to distributing content and using different platforms, I don't feel like I've changed much of my approach so far. It is something I do plan to get into at some point, but for now, I'm happy to just focus on making videos and trying to get better at the core YouTube craft of things. With freelancers and editors, I have improved some, and I did use an editor for a little while, but I'm not doing that right now, and I definitely see the value in it. It's just like a bit of a pain to manage and set up. Like it's pretty easy to just sit down and edit the video, even if it takes time, but finding an editor and working with them just complicates the process a bit, even though it does save time. So while I do want to get back into it, I'm not using an editor right now. For product, strategy, and partner, which is basically different ways of monetizing the channel, Again, it's not really a concern or something I focused on. I have tried like some affiliate programs and set up some accounts, and I have thought about some of these things, but it's not really something I care about anytime in the near future, so I don't mind that I haven't progressed much in this area. When it comes to writing a script, I've definitely improved a lot, but I also feel like I haven't really found my way of doing it yet. I have kind of two different directions that I go into sometimes. One is just quickly jotting down some bullet points and then just talking around that. And the other is putting a lot more thought and effort into the script and writing it down and having a much more clear vision of what I want to say in the video. And I think both of these areas can work fine for me, but I still have a long way to go when it comes to kind of how I structure my content and how I think about the pacing of the video and things like that. So that's how I progressed in these areas. I feel like for a lot of them, I've progressed some in terms of what I'm actually executing on, but then I've also progressed a lot in terms of how I know I should be doing things, if that makes sense. Like with script writing, I feel like I have much better of an idea of how to structure a good script. It just takes a lot of time and takes a lot of effort that I don't always put in. And it's kind of the same way with parallel processing and productivity and all of that stuff, where I know what I'm supposed to do and I know how to do it, I just don't always execute on it. So I'm hoping I will do a better job of that this year. So where do I want to head with this channel in the upcoming year? I think the main area of improvement is just that I want to be able to put more effort into certain videos, because when I'm not parallel processing and I'm not scheduling, it becomes often a rush to finish the video. So I would like to have some videos working on the background that I can spend a lot more time on in terms of scripting and shooting B-roll, which is something I often neglect, and things like that. When it comes to the weekly schedule, I think I'm happy to have it where it is right now, at least at the moment. The huge benefit is that it kind of forces me to put in consistent effort with YouTube, and I would be worried that if there is no such like external deadline, that 1 week would quickly become 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then I'm kind of fallen off the YouTube wagon, versus posting a video pretty much every week makes sure that I never fall off. But the downside is what I've already mentioned, that I feel like I have a bunch of different video ideas and things I want to do with videos that I just haven't gotten around to because I've been too caught up in like meeting the weekly uploads. So that's kind of the state of things right now. I want to put more focus on scheduling, parallel processing, probably hiring an editor, so the weekly releases go more smoothly. And from there, put more effort into the things that will make the channel grow, like thumbnails and titles and video ideas, and also be able to take on some more difficult video projects. But if I see this trend continuing into this year, where I feel like I can't make the high effort videos I want to make because I'm just too focused on getting out one video each week, then I'll probably take a step back from that for a little while and just see what it feels like to be able to spend as much time as I want on each video. One thing I can say is that I'm very committed to staying the YouTube course longer, because I'm very happy with the growth and response I've received from both random people and from people I know. But also I feel like I have so much room to grow, both in terms of the skills of making good videos and also just putting more effort into making more difficult videos. So to me, even though I've been doing this for a year now, it still feels like I'm just getting started. So that's how I feel about my growth on YouTube for the past year. Hopefully this was interesting to some people. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Wednesday.